many students applying to college, checking a single box when prompted for their race is a simple task that takes seconds. But for others, it can force them to question their racial identity. When a student finally chooses one, a lot of times for the wrong reasons, they are leaving out significant pieces of themselves. Furthermore, leaving out information on an application that's purpose is to fully represent who they are. Our video's aim is to enlighten people on the hurdles mixed-race students may face when asked what box to check.
For some students, identifying themselves is hard because they don't fit into a single box, and they are not alone. According to the 2010 United States Census, the number of people identifying as mixed race increased from 6 million to 9 million since 2000. Researchers believe that the census actually undercounts the number of people that identify as being of mixed race. In fact, 1 in 7 new marriages are between multiracial couples. People of multiracial backgrounds are one of the fastest growing demographic groups in the United States.
Multiracial students confess to spending sleepless nights worrying about how best to answer the race question on college applications. Some say they wonder whether their answers will accurately represent who they are. As new multiracial couples are formed every day, the rise in people identifying as mixed race will continue. Therefore, the experience of applying to college for mixed students will be more commonly shared. The crop of students moving through college right now includes the largest group of mixed-race people ever to come of age in the United States. Without clear guidance from the colleges, mixed-race students often turn to one another for advice. Their conversations spotlight how complicated and controversial the multiracial factor is in admissions. People's opinion on the multiracial experience must be shared to learn how to help the growing future generations of mixed-race students to navigate this process with ease. Here are 8 young adults doing just that.
I identify as mixed.
About 55% African American, and then the rest just a combination of Irish, Scandinavian, Hispanic, and Guyanese.
It's mixed. It's mixed. Black and white.
Mixed race.
I'm black, and I love it.
A mix between Hispanic and white, and like culture, like ethnically kind of Jewish also.
Biracial, we're mixed.
Yeah, I would consider myself mixed.
50% white, 50% Filipino.
My mother's Ethiopian and my father's German American.
My dad's Jewish, my mom's Puerto Rican.
I am born from a 100% German mother and then a Brazilian Italian father.
My mom is from the island of Nevis in the Caribbean, and my father's Italian.
My mother, she's from an island in the Caribbean called Antigua, and my father, he's of Jewish descent.
My mother is Jewish and white.
My mom's from the Philippines. My dad's he's from the U.S. His parents are from Ireland.
My mom's Irish and Native American.
My dad is African American and Native American Indian descendants.
Yes, I definitely think that mixed students put more thought into which boxes to check off.
For most kids, this takes 3 seconds. No thought, no stop, no pause. There's nothing to it. There's no experience.
I always look up what the definition is for what I actually am, Asian or Pacific Islander, because it always changes. More difficult deciding what to put on your app. Am I misrepresenting it by putting it not fully? Because a lot of them, it's like you have to pick one. It's kind of hard to identify when you have like 3 different things.
You know, you do have to put yourself in a category. You can't just be, so to speak.
I know a lot of kids who come from mixed race homes have often felt that they have to identify with one group or the other, but sometimes I think that pressure comes from outside sources.
People often like to have you pick one thing or put you in a box or like kind of have you set an identifier for yourself, and I don't think that's very fair or right.
I know like my dad's family's Jewish, so when like they asked if I put Hispanic down, they were like, oh, I don't know if you should put that because you're not full. I always put extra thought in words like a normal white kid, it'd be really easy for him to figure out what his race ethnicity is, whereas with me it changes all the time.
In the 3rd grade, I was taking MCAS, like standardized testing in Massachusetts, and they didn't have the other box yet, and you could only check one box. And it was like, you know, the standard African American, Caucasian, Hispanic, Asian. And I remember I started to cry because I didn't know what box to pick. And my teacher was just like, oh, just check black.
On the college application, I checked the box of African American. I simply just said, if I was walking down the street and I did say one word to you, what would you think I am?
There's a certain association I have with, I guess, the black race more than the white race. Only because I'm perceived as a minority or as a person of color. I'm not obviously perceived as white.
There are so many economic benefits in colleges and scholarships and fellowships to be African American or be mixed race, and so a lot of times I feel like I'm almost forced to check the African American or the black or the Hispanic, check boxes, even though I personally identify more with my white heritage.
Assume that affirmative action or something like that will be taken into account, then I'll definitely take advantage of it and check black.
I usually just go with other, and then I define exactly what it is.
From these interviews, it is obvious representing your race on applications can be difficult for mixed-race students. The face below is a sample of how National Geographic predicts some Americans will look like in the year 2025. As the number of mixed-race students continue to grow in America, the ability to fully portray an applicant's demographics needs to be improved. The application process has forced many mixed students to represent themselves as a single race. Out of the 8 people interviewed, only 3 identified themselves on applications as having a multiracial background. Dartmouth College reports only 1% of their population to be mixed race. However, the number of students who consider themselves mixed is far greater. This unique experience will not fade away from society, but instead continue to grow and evolve over time.